John Wick Chapter 4 is now out in cinemas across the world, and after seeing it, I think a lot of people are asking the question, is this one of the greatest action movies of all time? Let's talk about it. What's up everyone, and welcome back to John's Vibes. If you're new to my channel, I talk about all things movies and television, and I'm also an assassin, so please don't tell anyone. But today we're talking all things John Wick with the arrival of Chapter 4, and man, talk about a franchise that never disappoints, huh? As always, there may be some spoilers, so there's your warning, and also I'm going to be giving my rank of this movie at the end, so be sure to stick around. But it's pretty insane that we are already on movie number 4 of John Wick. It feels like the first one came out yesterday, and I'll admit that I watched the first John Wick when it came out, and I loved it, but I kind of forgot about it and didn't really keep up with the other movies. But that gave my wife and I the amazing opportunity here recently to sit down and watch all 3 movies before this one. And I gotta tell you, this is damn close to being my favorite action franchise of all time. I'd probably say it's easily number 2, with Mission Impossible being in the top spot. But with that being said, these movies are incredible. They remind me most of Raid, and I just love that style. The type of action movie where the main characters are the stunt guys. Everything is just so badass, and props to Keanu for doing like 90% of his own stunts in these movies. And let's actually stick there for a second on Keanu, because he is, he's the dude. He's the one. Johnny Utah himself. Like, I feel like this guy is constantly getting just so much praise and respect from everybody, but at the same time, I feel like he's still not getting the respect that he deserves, if that makes sense. He's been consistently making and starring in solid movies, and with the John Wick franchise, it just feels like he found something really special. These movies are more than just like a Steven Seagal era, or no offense at all, but like a Liam Neeson Taken career point. These movies are more of a defining chapter for Keanu, and after seeing this movie, we are truly witnessing greatness. Studios don't take chances like this, and so to see it pay off now 4 times and to see the budget just get bigger and bigger, it's phenomenal, and I'm really happy for everybody that's been involved. But let's talk about this movie, because one thing that I really enjoy about this franchise is that it almost feels episodic. The third one picks up right where the second one ends, and this one picks up directly after the third. John really should have died after being shot and then falling off a building, but no, he's John Wick.
What did he say?
And now he's back to take down the table and to finally get his freedom, killing everyone in his way that stands against him. And the world that this all takes place in is so well created and vivid. You have the 1920s phone operators still, and then just the fact that literally everyone is an assassin, and the people that aren't don't give a damn if bullets are flying. They're all just dancing and having a good time, sweating and feeling good. And good for them. Nope, I think I used the wrong clip. Wrong movie. But I also like the team that this franchise has assembled, with Winston and Bowery King, aka Morpheus, Lawrence Fishburne. And then also Sharon, played by Lance Reddick. And as you might know, he passed away shortly before this movie's release, which was really sad to see. He was such a huge part of these movies, but there also was a really nice send-off in this film for his character, and obviously unplanned, but it did just so happen to coincide with the real world. It's really sad, but I found that kind of beautiful. But I do want to talk about the new characters in this one, because the plot was certainly elevated. We had Donnie Yen as Kane and Clancy Brown as Harbinger. We had Shamir Anderson as Nobody, and of course Pennywise, Mr. Bill Skarsgård as the Marquis. And I will say this, he takes the cake, for me, for the best villain of this franchise so far. It was really nice to see him get this opportunity just to play around. Honestly, I'd love to see him as like a Bond villain, because he killed it, no pun. He just has that haunting sense to him, but in this movie, it's very withdrawn and only shines through in certain moments. And then Kane was fantastic. There's a fight with him and Hiroyuki Sanada that was some of the best choreography I've ever seen. But that also does bring up my first question to y'all. What was your favorite set piece of the movie? There was the Continental of Japan, there was the Waterfall nightclub with the worst version of the penguin. And that guy, the guy with the grill, I will say, they clearly put some sort of kung fu dude in a bodysuit, because he could move. Some of those high kicks were like, whoa! But then we have the whole last hour of the movie or so with the street, and then the house kind of building that John goes into, and then the Arc de Triomphe car chase fight, and then the stairs, and then the final duel. There's so many different set pieces. This movie is so much grander in scale, and that says a lot. People complain oftentimes about going to the movie theater and seeing a super long movie, and this movie was 3 hours long, but it did not feel like it. It was just one thing after another, and as soon as you hit that final setup, heading to the duel with the woman on the radio announcing to the world where John's gonna be next, things just get insane. My personal favorite was probably that, I don't know, it was like a house or a building that they went into, but the camera soars above all of the rooms, and so you have this over-the-top visual of all these guys coming to get John, and him going from room to room and shooting dudes. It was just, oh my gosh, it was fantastic. And you also have the tracker man, Mr. Nobody, and his dog mixed in, which was awesome. I love how things always end up coming back to the love of dogs. But then the Arc de Triomphe stuff was pretty crazy. Cars hitting people and then hitting John, and super tense action, and you can also tell that a lot of it was Keanu Reeves. Like, he was driving the car in this scene. That just blows my mind. Maybe he really is the one. But then I think the scene that got the most reaction out of the movie theater was the stairs, and how he fights his way all the way up just to fall all the way back down. It reminded me of that scene from Surf Ninjas. If any of you have seen that movie, there's this dude that keeps climbing up the stairs like this and falling all the way down, and they keep flashing back to him.
Okay.
But him and Kane come together, and I know I've talked about him already, but Donnie Yen deserves so much praise for this role. Not only his fighting capabilities, I mean, that's obvious, but he has an emotional plotline dealing with his daughter. Family, as John puts it. And I thought he acted the hell out of this, all the way up until that final duel, and I will say that was really tense. And the visuals, you know, the sunrise in the background, it painted this beautiful picture that I feel like is going to be talked about for years to come. A lot of the set pieces and gorgeous visuals and shots and cinematography, I feel like are really gonna stand the test of time and are very unique for an action movie. But spoiler, and if you're still here, you should know this, but he shoots the Marquis in the head, but not before John is gravely wounded by Kane. He's shot in the stomach, and then he dies. And come on, didn't we just go through this with no time to die? Like, I can't do this anymore, man. But I don't know, yeah, I'm honestly, I'm leaving that door open in my mind. Because yes, they have the funeral and the final scenes and stuff, but there's just no way. I mean, he's been stabbed and shot and fallen off buildings, and he never dies. I don't know. I was honestly hoping that in the post-credit scene there was going to be some sort of answer, or John Wick, it's revealed that he's alive, but all it ended up being was the daughter seeking revenge for her father against Kane and going to assassinate him. And that's pretty crazy. I'm curious to see if they carry on this story anymore and how they do that. But regardless, like, what a ride that was. Like, 2023 is off to a crazy good start for movies. This is actually my second perfect score that I've given so far this year. With that being said, I'm giving John Wick Chapter 4 5 out of 5 stars. And it's crazy to think, but like, before this franchise, I didn't think that Keanu Reeves would be the best action hero of all time, but now I'm beginning to believe. Seriously though, this does kind of move some things around for me, and I'm really curious to hear where this movie or franchise ranks for you all time among movies or franchises. Like I said before, I think that I'm just barely still partial to Mission Impossible, but there is a very strong argument now that can be made for John Wick. So please leave me a comment and let me know all of your thoughts down below. I'd love to hear about it, and also remember to be excellent to each other. Also remember to give this video a like if you enjoyed this review as well as enjoyed this movie. I really do appreciate all of the support that you guys have shown me so far this year. I'm gonna keep making content and talking about the things that I love, so subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, that was John Wick Chapter 4. And now that our main character is potentially gone, where do they go with the story from here? I guess we'll see.